Hey, good afternoon to you. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Thursday, our 62nd day together. Tomorrow we'll wrap up 13 weeks in the saddle. We're so pleased to be here. And, again, our show brought to you by Bracken Asphalt Maintenance, of course, Center Street Wealth Management Group, my buddy Greg Taylor in Wells Fargo, Bays Mountain Park, Max Medicine Mart, Cherokee Barbershop, Bristol Motor Speedway and Dragway, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, American Import and Auto Repair, Kingsport Cabinetry, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, and by Book Lovers Warehouse, and also Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance, with our thought for the day on this Thursday, the 7th day of May, 2015. Of course, it's also the National Day of Prayer. Of course, we dedicate this show to the man who hung on the cross, and we do that unashamedly. And so as a result of today being the National Day of Prayer, I guess I'm going to do something unprecedented. I'm going to pray for you and me on the National Day of Prayer on the air. We normally say a prayer before we go on the air, so I think it's only apropos. By the way, good afternoon, Horace.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Doing good.
Are you good? Is everything good? Yeah, okay. We got lots to cover. We got a lot of folks to talk to, too. We're going to be joined coming up here in just a few minutes by the Science Hill baseball coach, Ryan Edwards, won the district tournament last night. We'll be talking to him. Doug Fritz, a little bit later on, getting a complete softball and baseball rundown from the Johnson City Press. Jerry Higgins, the Lady Hilltopper softball coach, he's going to join us coming up next half hour. Hank Brown from We Run Events, got a big event coming up called the Crazy Eights, and a couple of things between now and then with a new twist on the Crazy Eights. And also our buddy David Crum, see what's going on in the woods and waterways this weekend, heading into what looks to be a very, very warm, I think we're talking about low 90s for Mother's Day weekend. And booyah, after that 9 below day, I said I'll never, ever complain about the heat ever again, and I won't. I don't care how hot it gets. I'm not complaining. That day was 9 below. That was a cold day, wasn't it?
It was 11 below at my house.
There you go. So
at least that's what the old temperature gauge said.
Either way, I think at that point, does it really matter? 9, 11, I mean, cold's cold.
It's cold.
Oh, baby. So anyway, it's going to be a great Mother's Day weekend, and it's going to be a big sports weekend. We've got a big sports day here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Our lead story coming up in just a few minutes. Our buddy Tom Brady's in trouble, it would appear. But first, the National Day of Prayer. I think it's only fitting, and I do this unashamedly. We're going to open with a prayer on this day, the National Day of Prayer, and here we go. Dear Lord, thank you for this day, and thank you for our country, the greatest country in the world, on this National Day of Prayer. Lord, it looks like there's times we have stepped away from those Christian values that our forefathers brought to the table when they founded this country. In fact, on our coins it still says, "In God we trust." I don't think we do that, not like we should. Lord, may we ask that you continue to bless this country, and then we bless you. It's a two-way street. Also, the folks that are watching and hearing this from here on in, whether it's live today or tonight on the podcast or 6 weeks from now when they hear this show, Lord, I put a prayer up to them and their families to put a hedge of protection around them, and that they will continue to do what they need to do as an American and as a Christian to honor you in this country. So we're at a crossroads in this country, and we need to get back to what our founding fathers founded this country on godly Christian values. And I pray, as the verse says in 1 Kings, that we cry out to you, and that's what we're doing, that this country gets back to where it once was. And, again, last but not least, we lift up anybody and everybody who hears and sees this show, that you would bless those people that are watching and their families and put a hedge of protection around them. And we thank you for the greatest country in the world. We don't take it lightly. And we thank you for what you've done for us, will continue to do for us in this country. And, again, all these things I ask in your name. Amen. So there you go. National Day of Prayer. And we appreciate, again, that opportunity that still as Americans we can do that here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. All right, Tom Brady. We talked about him yesterday, Deflategate. Daddy says no. Tom says no.
And the agent says no.
And the agent says no. But, however, we have a story here that somebody would say yay. Yay being yes, it did happen. Official locker room attendants Jim McNally and equipment assistant John Drasminski executed the plan. For his trouble, McNally asked for expensive shoes, signed footballs, jerseys, and cash for Mr. Brady. He brokered the deals over a series of salty text messages with Jasminski that portrays Brady as a hard-to-please taskmaster.
You think?
He said, here's what we need to do. And so McNally said, okay, I'm going to do this, but shoes, signed footballs, jerseys, cash.
Cash. That sounds like conspiracy.
The footballs, measured by officials at halftime, somehow lost pressure between being tested by the referee and the halftime break. Penalties for all this to be determined. League Executive Vice President of Football Operations Troy Vincent, reviewing the report, will hand down the punishment. What do you got to review?
It happened.
It happened. I mean, here's a guy who comes out and says, yeah, McNally asked for expensive shoes, signed footballs, jerseys, and cash.
The fact that the balls were underinflated is not in question.
No.
It happened.
Yes.
So, I mean, how did it happen? Now we're finding out how and why.
Or who.
And who was involved.
Yeah. And so a 243 report, which I said yesterday seems kind of to defy logic. Why you'd have to have 243 pages to say he did it. We did go into the bathroom and let air out of the footballs.
Covering their backsides. So when they do hand down the punishment, they've got something documented that says, hey, this is why we did what we did.
Yeah. 4-time Super Bowl winner Tom Brady spent almost the last decade under the microscope after getting caught in the 2007 Spygate scandal. So that was just 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And so that's still out there on his record. And now the Deflategate. Now, you were telling before we went on the air that there's talk of a suspension up to a year.
Oh, well, that's the maximum they've been talking. I was watching something on Fox this morning on Fox News, and then also read about it on FoxNews.com. Yeah, the potential penalties range anywhere from not doing much of anything to a maximum of being suspended for the entire season. And
wow.
I'll tell you, if he gets suspended for the entire season, I don't think that's good enough. We're talking about the integrity of the game, period. I mean, Pete Rose got banned from baseball because he bet on baseball but not on his own team.
Yeah.
Okay? That pales in comparison to what you're doing here. You're manipulating, trying to manipulate the outcome of a ball game on your behalf. So
just happened to be the Super Bowl too, right?
Oh yeah, well no, it was
a playoff game.
Playoff game.
Playoff game.
But still, it just boggles the mind. So they've got to hand down something strong enough to support the integrity of the ball game and send a message. And if they don't, then it's why bother?
Yeah. Why would Indianapolis stay so quiet? Why would they not voice some kind of concern? Because it happened against them. I don't know if it determined the outcome of the game.
After it happened, the coach made a good point for Indianapolis. And after it happened, it came out, and they reported that the balls were underinflated, blah, blah, blah. Indianapolis didn't lose the ball game because of underinflated footballs. They lost the ball game because they didn't play. They got their hind ends handed to them in that ball game. Whether or not the ball was underinflated or not made no difference. They didn't play up to the caliber that they needed to play, and they got whooped.
Gotcha.
So, and the coach admitted so. So, now if it had been a close game, who knows?
Yeah.
There may have been, some room to wiggle there and complain about, but he got whooped, and he admitted it, and he says the balls had no difference. They made no difference in that particular game. So
now his daddy's come out. Of course, daddies are supposed to do this, I guess, to defend your son, but he's come out and said that. That's good.
I mean, that's daddy for you.
Yeah. There you go. So Papa Bear's come out and said, nah, this is ridiculous. And I think it's unfounded is what he said, but I don't think it's unfounded at all. I mean, here's a guy, I knew it was pretty much dead to the right that it happened, but when the guy comes out and says he asked for his trouble, McNally asked for expensive shoes, signed footballs, jerseys, and cash. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
He got bought off. And Brady,
I think that's what the text messages, and that's what it come out that he was portraying that's what happened. But did it actually take place? Was there cash exchange? Was there balls handed, signed autograph balls and jerseys and whatnot? Did that actually transfer? I mean, if they've got that and can document that and have witnesses that testify that it happened,
the guy just said he did it.
Oh, he did do it.
He just said he
asked. I thought he said that's what he asked for.
Well,
but
he asked for it. But my point is he did ask for it. So we got to that point where, okay, I'll do this, but if I do this, you're going to give me this. It's all tit for tat. So now whether the transactions happen.
Well, see, Brady can come back and say, well, yeah, he asked for it, but I told him to go take a flying leap. That wasn't no part of it.
But see, we're on a rabbit trail.
Yeah.
The bottom line is this guy is smearing the integrity of the National Football League with this underinflated football.
Well, Brady's silence during after first came open and not jumping in and defending himself and
Yeah.
just laughing it off.
Guilty.
Oh, man, that had guilt written all over it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had no doubt that it happened.
I mean, if you're innocent, you got nothing to lose. You just go up there and
Yeah.
say, I didn't do it. And stand, but not giggle and dance and kind of skirt around it. And so, anyway, the Deflategate continues. If he does, in fact, get a year suspension or any kind of suspension, that obviously changes immediately the dynamics of that football team.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, big time for the Patriots. So
I think it already has. I don't think he can recover from this. Oh, yeah, he may have some talent, but overall, you're going to have players out to get him. You're going to have his own teammates questioning his ethics.
There's the key right there.
And I think it's the damage has already been done on that aspect. So
the integrity of the team, if you got guys on there, obviously he doesn't have a lot of integrity, if any at all, but obviously for those on the team that would have some integrity and do have, then they would kind of go, kind of scratch your head and go, I really want this guy, and I want to play for a team. This guy's, because as we said earlier, he was in the Spygate scandal back in 2007. Now the guy's into this Deflategate probe, and Brady obviously knew about it. So if you're on the team, do you want him leading your team?
not me.
Okay. I mean, that's
Of course,
a question.
I don't want to play for the team anyway.
No, but I mean, no, you really deep down want to play for the Raiders.
I'm a Niner man. You heard me say that.
Yeah. The San Francisco 49ers. Anyway, that's the very latest there in the National Football League with Tom Brady and Deflategate. We've got Ryan Edwards due to join us coming up here in a few minutes. Before we go to the break to track him down, the NASCAR folks uphold the penalties against Richard Childress Racing. You know, they appealed it when they were up here in Bristol Race Week, and it came down, and they upheld the appeal. The appeal's not as severe as the original fines and penalties. However, Ryan Newman loses 50 points. Richard Childress loses 50 points as owner, and also 50 points for Newman, which is huge. Newman's crew chief, Luke Lambert, now must serve, not possible, but he must serve a 6-race suspension and pay a $75,000 fine. The crew also loses an engineer and the tire specialist for 6 races. Also, Lambert, engineer Philip Surgeon, tire specialist James Bender can't work at the racetrack until the July race in Daytona. 6-race suspension also covers next week's All-Star race at Charlotte. Now, had a story here where they changed the setup.
Again?
No. Well, yeah, they did, but a rule change just came out on March the 24th. The rule change allowing Kenseth and Newman to be eligible for the All-Star race. That's before all this came down. Now, I don't know if he can still drive or not. That's not said in the article, but the All-Star race coming up next weekend.
Even if he's allowed to drive, looks like half his support staff's not going to be there.
His crew chief's out. His engineer's out. His tire specialist is out. I don't know enough about the sport. You got tire specialists hanging around the garage, so take me or engineers. I mean, I don't know how that works.
I say there's someone on track because they've got to be. When you change tires and they're inspecting the tires, see how they're wearing and what needs to be done as far as tire inflation and whatnot for track, for race purposes. So somebody's there gauging the tires during the race. So that'd be a tire specialist, if you ask me.
Well, I just need to read into this deeper. As the team decided back when they came to Bristol if they would go to Moss, who's the gentleman who made the appeal, made the final decision, they sent an interim crew chief to Bristol in place of Lambert just in case. So they've already prepared for it. But still not going to be the same if you lose the main guy. So Richard Childress Racing gets hammered with a pretty significant fine. If you missed the story earlier in the racing year, it was a reason because they were bleeding the tires. What does that mean? That means tires from several teams following the race in California. NASCAR said that Richard Childress Racing had intentionally altered the tires to let air leak out during a run being a series of laps on the track, a process known as bleeding to give Newman an advantage. So they let a little air out of the tires so he'll go a little faster.
Well, it gives better traction.
And better traction because there's more rubber on the road.
Well, and as the tires heat up, the pressure in the tire gets greater. Yeah. So lower pressure, more traction.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the very latest there. We got a story coming up later in the show, another NASCAR story. Jimmy Johnson, did he or didn't he? Interesting. And there's calls to kind of go on both sides of that one. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But we'll find out what that's all about a little bit later on to the show. Also, we got the quiz show coming up at the bottom of the hour. My man here is going to be in the seat today. Horace is in the hot seat. Basketball, football, or NFL, Major League Baseball. There you go. Right. There's your categories. We'll take a quick break. We'll track down, we hope, Ryan Edwards, the head baseball coach of the Scienceville Hilltoppers. He's due to join us coming up next year on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about insurance. Because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that it's smart to replace washing machine hoses every 5 years? What if you didn't know that you might need extra coverage for more expensive items? And what if you didn't know that teen drivers are 4 times more likely to get into an accident? So, the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Thursday. Thank you for being with us here on the National Day of Prayer. Again, that's very important to us here on the show. But we're all about talking local sports. Let's go to the ponies there. The head baseball coach of the Scienceville Hilltoppers, a happy camper, head coach Ryan Edwards. Coach, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. You guys won it, the district tournament, and beat a very good Dobbins Minute team. And kind of step us through the tournament. How did it all go for you?
Well, going into it, we obviously getting the bye was huge, and we felt like we needed to be the aggressor and you know, go at it with, you know, Grant Rabbits has been our go-to guy on the mound this year, and I wanted to get the most out of him, so we decided to close with him in game one. We told the kids before anything even started he was going to close, throw the 7th inning if needed, and start on Monday, win or lose. And so it worked out that we won, and then he was able to start and gave us a great start. And also, you know, Reese, just his start on that Sunday game against Boone, you know, kind of gets lost in the mix. He gave us a great start and got us into the 6th inning, and then got in a little bit of trouble there, and Malik Stevens bailed him out, and then Grant came in and closed the door there, and then can't say enough about Grant's start against Dobbins Bennett, because I mean, he scattered 10 hits, and they're a very good hitting team, but he just never got rattled, and that's the thing that he's done for his whole career now. Going in, I think he's getting close to 30 wins, and hopefully we'll get him to that for his career.
Talking to Coach Ryan Edwards, the head baseball coach at Scienceville. So you win the tournament against a very good Dobbins Minute team, and who was the tournament MVP?
Grant Rabbits was.
And deservedly so, right?
Yes, yeah. You know, and actually in that last game, he was playing center field for us. We had an injury with Malik Stevens earlier in the year, and you know, Grant, we kind of discovered his defense just in shag and fly balls in BP early in the season, actually kind of late last year, and so we knew going into the year, you know, if we needed another guy that could play some defense, and now it's turned out when he's not pitching, he plays center field for us, even though he doesn't hit in our lineup, we a lot of times DH for him. He caught a couple balls yesterday that really saved the game early in the game.
So if I read this right, you guys have qualified for the regional for the 11th or 12th straight year at Science Hill Baseball. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's just an honor just to be a part of it because I haven't been – it's only my 8th year, so obviously they – Science Hill, and this is what I tell the kids all the time, that it's just special to be a part of this. And, this program is rich in tradition, and it's just an honor to be able to be a head coach in a program that has been so successful for so many years. And I think the kids are, starting to understand that, hey, when you put on the uniform, you represent a lot more than just this team. But just like the other night, we were playing on Monday night, and Will Craig, who's right in the thick of things at Wake Forest, comes back to watch the game, and I thanked him after the game and said, "Man, I appreciate you being here. You probably got classes tomorrow." He said, "Well, actually, I got a bullpen in the morning, and then I got a final." I said, "Man, I appreciate you coming in here." And it's just a great tradition here. Kids that want to come back and be a part of it, and even when they're not playing,
We're talking to Ryan Edwards, the head baseball coach at Science Hill here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. You mentioned guys pitching. Who are some of the guys that had some big sticks for you during the tournament offensively to plate?
Well, Matt Thigpen came up with 2 big hits for us in both of the Dobbins-Bennett games. We were down in both situations, and in tournament play, and you're facing tough pitching, usually just getting those hits to get the lead. I guess we weren't losing, but we were tied in the first time, and he got the hit when it broke the 0-0 score there. And then the yesterday we were down by a run, and he was able to get the hit that put us up there. And those both were big hits because Landon Knack hits in front of him, and he's been the guy that's been our best hitter all year. And so Matt's got a big job in front of him because a lot of people are, they're just not giving Landon a whole lot to swing at right now in postseason. And so, we really need for Matt to step in there and do his job, and he did, and just had a great approach in both of those games. And then Reese Westmoreland, he came up with big hits in both of those games too. And then we just kind of rolled yesterday after those guys got the hits. It just kind of snowballed for us there, and had several guys. And actually, I think we had hits. I heard somebody say hits in 8 out of our 9 hitters in the lineup. So that was good that we spread it out.
So going forward, again, we're talking to Coach Edwards of Science Hill Baseball. Going forward, the regional's up next. Kind of give us a preview of the regional.
Well, we're playing Cherokee 6 o'clock at Cardinal, and they've got an arm. Last name's Gibson, I believe it's Ryan Gibson, and he, I think this is just reports I'm getting. He had about 27 strikeouts in the district tournament on the mound in 3 different appearances, a couple starts, and closed out a game, and they really rally around him. They're a hot team at the right time, and we're going to have our hands full with him on the mound. And we told the kids last night, midnight rule, enjoy this one, but we're going to take today off and take care of classes and that kind of thing, but come ready to work because these guys are a scrappy group that like to put the ball in play. They don't strike out much. We've got to come ready to play, so we got to get some good practice in Friday, Saturday, and probably do some Mother's Day BP in the evening. Take care of Mom, go to church and take care of Mom in the afternoon, and probably get some BP swings Sunday evening too. So
6 o'clock Monday night at Cardinal Park. Of course, Dobbins-Bennett, by losing, they travel to Sevier County, so there's a chance you guys could play again or meet again. But first things first, take care of Cherokee. So you've qualified for the regional as a coach yourself, I guess, 8 straight years. Is that right?
Yeah, we've been in the regional
Wow.
all those years. But man, we want to win that game. We've lost that Monday game 3 years in a row, and credit this region's just a lot tougher than it's been down. That District 2 has been really good, and you know, they've given us all we can handle. We lost to Jefferson County 3 years ago, and we lost to Sevier County 2 years in a row, and so you know, our kids are really hungry, really have worked hard all January, February, morning bullpens, and you know, are starting to see where that's paying off, and we need to get out to a good start. That's going to be the focus for Monday, because that's what we didn't do in the last 3 years, and we've got to be the aggressor on the mound, and just you know, get off to a good start, and commit to making contact with 2 strikes. Because that's that kid's game. He obviously, with 27 strikeouts in those 3 games he pitched in.
Tell you what, you got me fired up. Wish I could play for you. I love that. That's, I mean, I was like, Coach, put me in. So I appreciate I appreciate you very, very much. And again, good luck to you. And hopefully Monday night we'll be talking to you on Tuesday about moving into the next round of the regional tournament. And I sure appreciate you and what you're doing for these kids, these young men at Science Hill High School. And have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you next week. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you putting me on. I appreciate it.
You quite welcome, and you earned it. You deserved it. Again, Coach Ryan Edwards, the head baseball coach of the Science Hill Hilltoppers. Nice report. And, again, they'll take on Cherokee Monday night at Cardinal Park at the AAA Regional Opening Round game. And, of course, the loser of the game last night, Dobbins Minute, who is very formidable in their own right. They'll go to the highway and take on Sevier County down there, which is going to be very tough. So, you know this, at this point, ain't no cream puffs. It gets tougher from here on out every single game. And so Science Hill has Cherokee at home on Monday, and Dobbins Minute goes to Sevier County on Monday. And the winners will come back and play, I guess that would be on Wednesday for the regional championship. So
they are playing at home, though.
Yeah, they are Cardinal Park, so that's a good sign. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if DB didn't go down and beat Sevier County down there. But obviously, anytime you go on the road, it just changes the whole dynamics of your team. You got to get on that van and travel and kind of uproot your normal home day or game day home scenario where you're at home, go home, get something to eat, come back, lay around, get ready to play that night. Now you got to get on a van and, in this case, drive, hour and a half, 2 hours, Sevier County, and get ready for a baseball game down there on Monday. So, but that's why they play the game. So, again, Science Hill home on Monday against Cherokee. Dobbins Minute travels on Monday and the AAA Baseball Regional to the land of the Smoky Bears down there in Dollywood country at Sevier County. Well, we are ready for, it's time for you know what, 'tis the quiz show. By the way, I don't know if you knew this, but my boy Weinman, they go and win the St. Jude's golf tournament yesterday.
Did they really?
They won the cotton picking thing. Isn't that cool?
He wasn't texting in. He was excited himself.
Yeah. So I get this text this morning with a picture of the trophy. 2 people won yesterday. Tom won the golf, and I won the quiz show. Let me guess who sent that. You get one shot.
Apester.
Oh, the Apester got me. Shit. 2 people won yesterday from Bracken Paving. I beat you, and Tom and the boys beat the field, and got a very nice text from Tommy. He said, we wouldn't even known about it had you not heard about it on your show, which is very nice. And let's see what he tells me. Something else he said, and then we'll get right to the quiz show. Let's see what we got here. Would have never known about the outing if it wasn't for you and your show. We're also in for next year and also a bigger sponsor role. There you go. It's a great organization. I'm telling you, it's for all these for these kids that have to go through the treatments. Unfortunately, at St. Jude's, both here in Johnson City at Niswonger, and of course the main location in Memphis. And so, yeah, there's the wow. That's a nice looking trophy too. There you go. Let's see if we can get that up on the screen. Can they see that? Put that up there. And how about that? Is that nice? That's very nice. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I don't see the screen. I can't see the screen, but very nice. They are. Yeah, I probably need to from time to time. So, St. Jude Golf Tournament 2015 champion, Tommy Wyman and the boys from Bracken Paving, and so they're back in next year. So now what we need to see, now they've kind of set the bar. Now we got to go win that putt-putt thing in August. the Honolulu Hoedown boys. We need to go over there and do well. And
if you're pool cueing putts, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready to go?
I guess so, yeah.
All right. Let's hit the music and All right, here we go. Quiz show time. We're playing for, guess who? David Rotenberry from Kingsport. We're going to get him, see if we can get him a W.
David, I'm going for you, big guy.
Yeah, I'm pulling for you, but I kind of know what's getting ready to happen here. So, anyway, we've got 5 questions. Again, the winner gets, in this case, Rotenberry, gets a free Earl change from American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Gives himself a free haircut, gets his ears lowered at Cherokee Barbershop, home of the Gator Boy, or the Gator Man. And then a free courtesy pass from Bays Mountain Park. All that if he goes 5 for 5. And here we go. Horace, are you ready? You want to start baseball or basketball?
You just throw them out there, big guy.
It's not going to make a difference. All right. Question number 1. True or false? These are, of course, the basketball rim, or the rim in basketball. The diameter is 20 inches. 20 inches in the basketball rim diameter. Is that true or false?
20, 20, 20, 20. Maybe 18.
Basketball rim diameter is 20 inches. True or false?
True.
True. All righty. Hit the buzzer.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Should have gone with the gut. It's 18 inches.
18. Oh, man.
There you go. Rotenberry, not this time around. Maybe tomorrow. Oh, it's getting better. So number 8.
Oh, no.
Time up there at 8, there's 2 zeros connected together. I said, okay, I got you. I'm going to be quiet and see what you do. All right, number 2. I got to have some taters. That was good. Number 2, William Perry, the refrigerator. Remember him?
Yeah.
All right, Chicago Bear boy. Played his college football at South Carolina. True or false?
I want to say he was a Big Ten boy. William Perry. I don't think South Carolina goes for big boys like that. I want to say false.
False. Hit the bell. It was Clemson. Played at Clemson.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Question number 3. Got that one right. All right. Number 3, baseball. A Chicago Cubby. Ron Santo. True or false? He's in the Hall of Fame. Baseball Hall of Fame.
Ron Santos in the Hall of Fame.
True or false? Boom, 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 boom,
is he still
boom,
playing?
boom. No, he's retired. And you know what? I think he's deceased, if I'm not mistaken.
You may be right. I think
he passed
that's
away.
true. I think
True?
that's true.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Hit the bell. All right. He's 2 for 3. Every day a hog will find an acorn. All right. Number 4.
Didn't know hogs went for acorns.
No, they do. They do. In West Virginia, they do. All right. Number 4. Another baseballer. True or false? Bruce Sutter. Bruce Sutter is in the Hall of Fame. True or false?
I don't think he is yet.
Okay.
I say false.
False. Hit the buzzer. All right.
He is in there.
Oh, it's 2 for 4. All right, here we go.
Okay, well, we're going to finish strong.
Yeah, right. Okay,
You
last but not least. No, yesterday I did not, but Tuesday I did. No. Tuesday with Richard Isaacs. I went 4 for 5. Monday I asked Gator, didn't
You
I?
asked Gator, yeah.
Yesterday I went, we're not going to talk about yesterday.
All right,
okay.
go on. Let's see if we can finish strong.
What did I do yesterday? 2 for 5? Oh, I see. You're trying to beat. I got you. You're trying to beat me. All right, baseball. The Philadelphia Phillies, true or false, were once known as the Blue Jays. Philadelphia Phillies were once known as the Blue Jays. True or false?
Toronto is the Blue Jays currently, and Philadelphia. Philadelphia wasn't always the Phillies, but I don't think they were the Blue Jays. Oh man, this is a toughie. Well, I'm going to flip a coin, and I'm going to say they were not known as the Blue Jays.
All righty. Go ahead and hit that buzzer, Horse.
Oh,
yeah! They were. Booyah! They once were the Philadelphia Blue Jays.
Okay. Right. Well, okay. So
2 for 5.
We're even Steven this week on that.
No, I'm ahead of you because I went 4 for 5. I'm 6 for 12.
I haven't done that bad in a long time.
I'm 6 for 10.
You're rubbing off on me, man. There's something going on here.
Something in the water.
Something in the water.
Something in the something somewhere. So anyway, tell Dave I'll give him a free haircut just for the aggravation. Thank you, Gator. Tell Dave I'll give him a free haircut just for the aggravation.
Oh, man.
And the frustration. There you go. Hit the music, my friend. Here we go. There's the quiz show. Tell you what, the barrels down the oil barrels ain't getting tapped in much down at the American Import and Auto Repair. We're not doing too good.
We're not.
No. So tomorrow, maybe buzzer tomorrow.
We're averaging, I think, just about 15%.
Really?
Yeah.
Since
we started the show,
we're a sad lot.
We're sad. Only 15% of our quiz shows have actually had winners.
got a text from Tim early in the week. He said, "No winners." I said, "No." All he came back and says, "Figures." Ouch. Anyway, Gator says, "Rotenberry, I'll give you a free haircut just for your aggravation." So there you go. Anyway, Horace goes 2 for 5. He got Refrigerator, Perry, which was a stroke of luck, and Ron Santo, the Hall of Fame. Didn't know who he was. That was a stroke of luck. So there you go. Buddy went 2 for 5, and so we'll throw that in the final 13, and we'll check out here, take a break, come right back, and we'll get a softball and baseball overview from our buddy Doug Fritz from the Johnson City Press. He joins us coming up next year on this Thursday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that home insurance can keep your stuff covered even when it's not at home? Or that collisions with wildlife on the road may not be covered? And what if you didn't know you could be liable for any accidents on your property? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Let's just go baseball and softball.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Thursday. Thank you for being with us. Ryan Edwards joined us a few minutes ago. Coming up, we'll check in with Jerry Higgins, the softball coach from Science Hill. Right now, we're going to talk to a man who played a round of golf yesterday, our buddy Doug Fritz, and chased that little white ball. How'd you do yesterday, Fritz?
I did okay considering I hadn't played in a while. I got back-to-back pars, and then on the next hole, I was on the green in regulation, and I putted, and the ball rolled all the way down the hill, and I was getting an 8, and it was downhill from there.
But you had fun. You got away and got a chance to kind of recharge your batteries, right?
I did, and it was great to be out there. I mean, it's such a beautiful day. It got a little bit hot, but it's just a beautiful day the Lord made, and it was just awesome to be out there.
There you go. I preach it, brother. You're exactly right. Let's start with baseball. Run them down for me. AAA, AA, single A. Give me the results of the district tournaments, would you please?
Well, yeah, AAA Science Hill, you know, they got away from handled DB there, thumped them pretty good, and set themselves up really nice for the region because Cherokee upset Morristown West there in two AAA, much to my little brother's chagrin there. But so Science Hill will get Cherokee at home on Monday, have a chance to earn a sectional berth and a home game for the region final, Lindsay. One AA, Unicoi County surprised people a little bit and handled South and won that championship. Congratulations to them, and they'll be at home on Monday. And in single A, North Green won their 4th straight district championships, held off South Green, won that title. So great job Tim Lady done down there winning 4 straight district titles.
So that means Unicoi County being home. South will travel to Greenville on Monday. You have North Green at home. South Green will travel in the regional 1A. And as we said earlier, Science Hill has Cherokee, and Dobbins-Bennett goes to Sevier County. Is that going to be a tough trip for Dobbins-Bennett? That's probably not easy to go down and win at Sevier County, is it?
Oh, my goodness. Sevier County is just absolutely loaded. They blew through their end of the district. I think they won like 11-0, 12-2. And then in the
championship game. They won 16-6. They've got great pitching, really strong defense, and they just hit the cover off the ball. DB will have to go down and play their best game of the season to have a chance to win that one.
Talking to our buddy Doug Fritz from John C. Press. Can't thank him enough. He gives us great information every time we've got him on. Let's go softball. We're still playing softball today in AAA. Tell me about that.
Yeah, Science Hill and Volunteer still got to decide that out. Volunteer would have to beat Science Hill twice to wrest that district title away from them. Science Hill's been a surprise team to me here in this postseason. Just basically a 500 team in the regular season. They've caught fire and they're shutting people out. But now I'm telling you, Volunteers got a really strong team, and that's no easy chore for Science Hill to finish that off.
We're going to talk to Coach Higgins come up here in just a second, too. Let's talk about AA softball, who I guess Unicoi County won that one as expected, right?
Yeah, they did. They took care of business against Happy Valley. It was a tough game. It was 2-2 in the fifth inning, but Unicoi pulled away 1-5-2. They do a great job in all facets of the game, and they're just like their baseball team. They'll be at home on Monday. I believe the softball teams will play at 5. Baseball teams will play at 7. So that'll be interesting. And then single A, a couple of days ago, University High ran away from North Green. I think they beat them 16-7. It was like the fourth or fifth time they played this year, and they've had tight battles. But this time UH wore them out, so they look like they're primed for another run at the state tournament if they can get things to fall their way and get through the region.
Recap your article you wrote earlier in the week for the Johnson City Press. I thought it was very timely. I thought it was spot on about how the district tournament is kind of goofy. You don't really win anything for winning the district regular season. Kind of go back and recap that article. I thought it was very well written.
Well, I think the biggest thing what's happened, and it's a society thing, I think, in some respects. We're just everybody's coddling so much to in this instance to the 4, 5, 6, 7 seeds that we got to make sure they have a chance to win the district tournament. Well, I mean, life's about trying your best, doing your best, and trying to win, and that's what we're supposed to do, and be fair about it. But it's not about patty caking everybody along. And if you win the regular season in basketball, and a lot of these leagues around here, you win these 17 leagues, you win the regular season, you get an automatic bid to the region tournament. It should be the same way in baseball and softball. You win your regular season, you should be in the region tournament. And everything, everybody else has got to play in for that second spot. And a lot of these things, too, with these, in baseball, it's particularly unfair because you'll get a 7th-seeded team, let's say, that's just not very good, but they got one really good pitcher. And when that one really good pitcher's throwing, if they're playing a higher-seeded team that maybe, for whatever reason, the way things fall, they throw their number 3, all of a sudden you've got almost an even matchup there. And, that's not the way. I mean, it's just too much of an advantage for the lower-seed teams, and they need to get rid of a lot of this double elimination and just make it mean something to play these 12 regular season games.
I would agree with you. Give some incentive there in the postseason to get there because you've earned it, and once you get there, you get a little extra bonus. I think you're exactly right. Before I let you go, as you look up and down the line here in baseball and softball, who do you feel like can make some noise and head down to the big dance later on in the spring?
Well, I was just I've kind of been thinking about that some. And this is, this is going to be just my opinion here. I don't mean to offend anybody, and I know that, I've been wrong before, so let's just get that out there. But I don't know if Science Hill has the lockdown pitching they need to win a sectional game. I think they're going to get to the sectional. I think there's going to be a pretty good chance they're going to be on the road in the sectional because I think Sevier County will win the region. And I don't think Science Hill's going to Farragut and win the sectional game. And that's making an assumption Farragut gets there. But believe me, when they get Patrick Raby on the mound, I don't think there's anybody in the state that's going to beat them. And in AA, I think Unicor's got a shot, but they've got to be at home. They've got to avoid CAK. I don't think they can beat CAK home or away. So they need to win the region and be at home Friday and make sure CAK doesn't get clipped somehow along the way there, and then they'll have a chance. And then in single A, I think North Green's got a really good shot. If they win the region, which I think they should, then they will be at home on Friday, and they're going to have a chance to get down there. Flipping over to softball, I don't think Science Hill has the type of pitching in softball either that's going to go on the road or be at home either way and win a sectional game. And then in volunteer, they could. Volunteer could do that. But, because they do have that type of pitching, so it'll just depend on what the matchups are. And then in double, I think Unicoi County's got a good shot, but there's 3 really good teams. You got Unicoi, Greenville, and CAK. Those are the ones I know about for sure, and that's 3 teams. Only 2 of them can go to the state, so something's got to give there. And they all have good pitching, they all play good defense, and they hit the ball. And then in single A, University High's got a shot. They need to be at home on Friday and have the matchup fall their way. And they're going to have to play an excellent game to have a shot. And I think I skipped over, just back to AAA baseball, skipped over DB, but I mentioned earlier I think they're going to have a hard time winning Monday.
So the scenario is Monday is it's semifinals. Monday, the regional, Wednesday, the regional championship, and then Friday of next week will be the sectional or sub-state, correct?
That's correct, and you got to win Monday and Friday. You don't have to win Wednesday. It just makes Friday a lot more palatable for you, but you have to win Monday and Friday to get to Murfreesboro.
There you go. We'll be watching and reading what you have to say about the games you're covering. We'll get you back on next week. Have a great weekend. I'm glad you had a good day off yesterday, played a little golf, and, hey, I'll talk to you next week. I sure appreciate you, all right?
All right, thank you, Tom.
Yep, great job again. One more time. He's awesome. Doug Fritz on the Johnson City Press. Appreciate him very, very much. Horace got some day games going on. It's getaway game day on Thursday in Big League Baseball. Who's playing and who's winning? What scores right now?
All right, you got Oakland at Minnesota. Oakland leads 2-0 in the bottom of the second. Los Angeles at Milwaukee at top of the first. There's still no score. No score. It's top of the first. Just now getting started underway is Chicago at St. Louis. It's in the top of the first. Here shortly, Detroit will be playing at Chicago, Cleveland at Kansas City. Those are 2:10 starts. Then, of course, everything else on the light, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh, Baltimore, New York, San Diego, Arizona, Texas, Tampa Bay, Miami, San Francisco, and Houston at L.A.
Want to say hello to our buddy Gabe Hackett. He is out there somewhere in the nebulous, driving around. He and his honey, they're heading off to a weekend of Major League Baseball. So hello to the Gable man. And so his Reds, and I guess they're rapidly not becoming my Reds. Joey Votto gets in an argument, bumps the umpire. Looks like he may get suspended. That's typical. It's not typical of him. Very untypical. But typically, when you bump an umpire, you either get a sit-down suspension or a financial suspension out of your billfold or both. So we'll see what happens to Joey Votto. You saw it on the video. It happened, right?
Yeah.
It's legit?
Legit.
Now, where was the manager Price and all this is going on? The guy went on the tirade. Was he around?
Oh, he was right there next to the umpire. He was actually he had come out to, I guess, take up Votto's cause. I don't know, but Votto came all the way down from first base and just walked right up and got in the ump's face. And kind of almost chest bumped him. Well, basically, I think he made contact. You could tell it because the ump backed away. And then Price intervenes. He should have stepped in front of Votto before he even got close to the ump, but he didn't. So that's poor management.
All right, so to set the scene, he was batting. He's a left-hand batter, so he's out on a called third, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So he drops his helmet. So he goes to his defensive position at first base to start the next inning. And then he comes back down the first base line.
Right.
Charging, or I don't know if he's charging.
He just walked up and,
he's walking towards the umpire.
Price had come out evidently to argue the balls and strikes.
Gotcha.
And Votto took more exception to it and jumped in.
So there was a time element. It didn't happen as soon as he struck out. Goes to his position, gets his glove, his hat, and then he doesn't like what's going on there, jawing, and down the first base line he walks. And I guess the home plate umpire walked up about halfway, and they had a little love bump, right?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Them love bumps are expensive. You know that.
They can be expensive. Yes, they can. And that just goes to show you the lack of management with the Reds. You got a manager that goes on a F-bomb tirade. Mm-hmm. The team doesn't object to it. They're getting away with whatever they want to, evidently, because then Votto comes down. And, he may have a legitimate beef. Who knows? But, Price, being a good manager, should have stepped in front of him to stop his main home run hitter from getting into trouble, and he didn't.
Yeah. So
now you've got Votto potentially, going to be suspended for a game or two, and maybe fork out some cash. And Price, I'm sorry, he let it happen.
There you go. That happened in Cincinnati and Pittsburgh game last night. They'll play it again tonight. Final game of that set. Redlegs trying to go for the sweep. They'll move on to play a weekend series tomorrow night in Chicago against the White Sox. in Kaminsky Park. Coming up next, we'll check in with Jerry Higgins, the head softball coach for the Lady Hilltoppers of Science Hill. He joins us next on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that home insurance can keep your stuff covered even when it's not at home? Or that collisions with wildlife on the road may not be covered? And what if you didn't know you could be liable for any accidents on your property? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Thursday. We'll keep you up to date with Major League Baseball. And also coming up with the story, Jimmy Johnson, did he or did he not block and help Dale Earnhardt Jr. win the race last week in Talladega? Some say he did, some say he didn't. JJ says you're crazy, so we'll find out. We'll go through that here coming up in a few minutes. Let's go to the phone. Here's a guy who likes to eat. Now, I got to tell you, every time I see him, we usually see each other at the Rock Springs United Methodist Church Fish Fry. Coach Jerry Higgins. Coach, good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
We can throw down that fish out there at that fish fry, can we?
Hey, let me tell you, it's some of the best around. I invite everybody out every third Saturday of the month.
Uh-oh, we got one coming up then next week, right? Yeah.
Yeah, not this Saturday, but the next.
Woo,
Yep.
I'm going to put that on my calendar. That's some serious grub in there. So, yep, some great fish, a great fundraiser. We usually see each other there and sit and talk a little sports. And, hey, let's talk about your Lady Hilltoppers. Your ladies are playing very, very well, and you're playing in the championship today against Volunteer. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, we're on a pretty good roll here. 3 shutouts in the district tournament. That's kind of unheard of with any of the teams, but we won 3 in a row in shutout fashion, and everything's just going good for us right now, especially defensively.
Now, at one point late in the season, you had to play at home. You had to go down the road and play Volunteer, and it didn't go well. And so, since that point, your ladies have really stepped it up. Tell me about it.
Well, we played in the Knox Farragut's Region 2 Challenge, which is just a scheduled tournament. It's not an elimination type tournament. It's just we play 4 games. We know who they are, where it's at, and what time. And we go down there and play and just play terrible. We kicked the ball over the field, and then we dropped 6. We lost the Farragut, we lost the Bearden, we lost to Carnes, and we actually won one of the games against Tazewell, Virginia, but we were not deserving in that game. And then we come back from that on the following Monday and play Gate City, and same thing. We give them extra outs. They end up beating us 7-6. And Gate City's a great team. I wouldn't take anything away from them, but we gave them a lot of extra opportunities. And then comes the double dipper, Volunteer and Dobbins Bennett. We play Dobbins Bennett at home. We have a 5-1 lead in the 6th inning, and we proceed to make 7 errors in the 6th and the 7th. We go to the 8th, and we lose 6-5. So after that loss, it kind of threw us out of the mix. If we would have won that game,
and then went to volunteer, and with a win under our belt and knocked them off, we would have actually won the conference. But losing the Dobbins-Bennett game we couldn't finish higher than third. So it kind of took a lot of the steam out of us after that Dobbins-Bennett loss, especially the way we lost the game. But Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we went back to the practice field. We talked about just some of the fundamental things that you have to do, and mainly in the infield on making decisions with the ball. And, of course, it all starts with catching it first. And we took probably, 500, 600 ground balls apiece on those days. And we started the district tournament with the 4-0 win against Central, and then a 4-0 win against a very, very good hitting Crockett team, and then a 6-0 win against Dobbins-Bennett. So I think our efforts on the fundamentals paid off, and it's got us where we need to be. We got to do it one more time today.
Talking to Jerry Higgins again, the head softball coach of the Lady Hilltoppers of Science Hill. Ladies who have played well for you in the district tournament so far.
I would start off mainly with the pitchers. We don't have a dominant pitcher. We have two very good pitchers in Vanessa Elliott and Chloe Smith, and my strategy through the district tournament has been to start Chloe. She'll throw through the lineup of whoever we're playing, and as soon as she reaches batter number 9, when we bring Vanessa in for the leadoff second time through, and then once Vanessa runs through their lineup, and then we go back to Chloe, and so far it's done really well. They've not give up a run. They've only walked 6, give up 13 hits between the two of them in 3 games. So that strategy seems to be working really well for us.
We're talking to Coach Higgins again from the Science Hill Lady Hilltopper softball team in the championship today at 5:30 against Volunteer. And, of course, if you lose that first one, they got to come back and beat you twice. That's going to be tough to do, I think. I guess it can be done, but I would think the odds are in your favor to win that. And with that, set the stage for the regional next week. Who's going to be playing on the other side of the bracket?
The District 2 finals is Seymour and Jefferson County. I think Jefferson Cherokee, might have been the favorite because they do the 2 divisions thing for their district tournament. And I'm pretty sure Cherokee was favored to win their side and then to face Seymour on the other side. Seymour was the favorite, and they actually won their side. But Jefferson County upset Cherokee. So, the lesser 2 evils, they're both going to be really good, I'm sure. We've not played either one of those 2. We actually beat Cherokee this year 6-1, and we kind of had some knowledge about them and how to approach them, but I've not even seen Seymour Jefferson County play this year. So it'll be kind of in the blind, so to speak, whether we host or travel, whichever happens.
But the bottom line is you're playing. That's the best part. You're going to be going to the regional. How many times you've taken the Lady Hilltopper to the regional?
This will be the 4th time, but we've had 2 years in a row that we've not. So first time in 3 years that we've got the region eligible. So the girls are really excited, and the community that supports us is pretty excited about it too.
And Coach Higgins is pretty excited too. He's earned it. He's deserved it. So going to the regional again this year. But first things first, take care of Volunteer tonight. They're going to be a very good team to play, obviously. So, hey, good luck to you. We'll talk to you next week when we get ready for the regional, all right?
All right, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Great job again. Jerry Higgins, the softball coach, doing a great job with the Lady Hilltoppers at Science Hill, and you heard about her right here again on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Woo! Hour number 1 is in the books. Hard to believe. Before we go to the break, the Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance thought for the day. Love this. A man is not finished when he's defeated. He is finished when he quits. How about that? You're not finished when you're defeated. You're finished when you quit. Matter of fact, comes out of the book, out of Galatians 6:9. Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. So don't give up. A man or a person is not finished when he is defeated. He or she is finished when he or she quits. There you go. When you quit, it's over. You're not finished when you lose, but you're finished when you quit. How about that? That's great, great saying. Comes out of this book, by the way, God's Little Devotional Book for Leaders. Good stuff from Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance. Again, our buddy, the Big Easy, they call him, 6'12", big guy, and he'll snap you like a twig, or he wouldn't me, because he just would, because he's a big guy. He takes karate. He's, what's them belt colors? You start out at what? He's about halfway up the rung. Of course, top of the line is black belt. He's, I don't know, brown belt, green belt. I don't know. He knows enough to hurt you, so I'll leave him alone. But he knows a lot about insurance. He does a great job. He told me to tell you about with Nationwide, the Nationwide Road Assistance Program, two to choose from, the basic services and the plus services. Let's talk about the plus today. All features would include towing up to 100 miles when the vehicle can't be fixed on the spot, turn-by-turn directions by phone, pre-trip map routes, detailed directions, road detour notes, mileage, and important highway information, trip interruption coverage. With this plus service program, they'll reimburse you for up to $500 in expenses for alternate transportation, lodging, and meals when you're stranded 100 miles from home due to a disabled vehicle. Pretty cool program. Again, all you have to do is give him a call and let him sit down with you and talk to you about the Nationwide Roadside Assistance Program in the nation. We're here for you day or night. And again, he's a phone call away at 282-1389. 282-1389. Our buddy Larry Kaiser from Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance. We appreciate him very, very much. Quick break. Hour number 2 upon us. Hard to believe. We're moving into hour number 2 on this Thursday as you listen to the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that home insurance can keep your stuff covered even when it's not at home? Or that collisions with wildlife on the road may not be covered? And what if you didn't know you could be liable for any accidents on your property? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Good afternoon, back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we are so pleased to tell you we found out, yesterday was Guatemala, Mexico. Is that right?
Yeah, Guatemala.
Guatemala, Mexico. Found out somebody's listening to us down there. 10 states, Mexico, Great Britain, and what was the other one we were? Let's see, there's someplace else. Great Britain, Mexico, Brazil, a couple of weeks back. So
United Kingdom.
United Kingdom, yep. Britain and, or I should say Bristol and Great Britain, United Kingdom, and now Guatemala, Mexico. So we're in 10 states, including Tennessee. We have been heard in North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, California, Georgia, Louisiana, Kansas, Florida, and Michigan. I like it. So thanks so very much for being with us, and hello to the folks at Eastman. Got a good pack of folks listening to us over at Eastman on their computers, including our buddy Ken Archer. So appreciate all you folks. We're getting response all the time about folks listening to us in the afternoons at work, and in this case at Eastman. Let's go to the phonies there, our buddy Hank Brown, who heads up an outstanding organization called We Run Events. And good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Tom. How are you?
Just fine, sir. You have a race coming up this weekend in Bristol called the Caterpillar Crawl. Tell me about this, would you please?
Yeah, this was a fun event. The Junior League of Bristol, those ladies, they really, as you know, Junior League, they really know how to put events on, and they do a great job with this thing. And they have a kind of a Caterpillar Crawl course in downtown Bristol that I think kids can go. It's kind of a scavenger hunt type of course, and this event is kind of themed off of that, and you can run or walk, and they do a great job. And we're going to take off from Cumberland Park, which is a really nice park in downtown Bristol, and very, very nice course. So we're looking forward to this one.
There you go, and that's coming up this Saturday. What time does that start?
It starts at 8 a.m. Early in the morning on Saturday. So Bristol City likes you to get these things done early in the morning, and so we get up early and get down there and get set up, and so when the business is open, we're not running right down the street and have them all shut down.
So they can still do business. Now, you do events all year long. How many events do you have on the docket for 2015? You have a total?
Well, last time I checked, it was right around 60 events this year, Tom. I haven't counted them up exactly, but I think it's right around 60.
That is awesome. Of course, the big one we like to talk about is the big one, and for reasons we're about to tell you how big it is, it's one of the top races in the Southeast. Again, the Crazy 8's Road Race, again dubbed the world's fastest 8K. And so it's the current holder of the women's 8K world record and held the men's record until last year. Coming up not that far away, July the 11th, and we've got a new spin to it. It's called Race to Raise for Charities. Awesome things going on. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Tom, I appreciate you letting us talk about this. This is something new for us. So we're going to allow some selected, what we call Race to Raise charities to encourage people to run or walk in their behalf, and then we're going to give back money to these organizations based on their participation. And we're pretty excited about it. We think it's going to be a great thing for these charities. It's going to allow us to get more involved with the local community and get these organizations more involved with our event as well. So we're pretty excited. It's a kind of a new, like you said, a new spin, and we like the name Race to Raise, and I think it'll really catch on.
American Cancer Society, the Sullivan County Humane Society, Niswonger Children's Hospital, the Wellmont Foundation Heart Fund, Meals on Wheels of Kingsport, the March of Dimes, the Appalachian Senior Center, and the Wounded Warrior Program will be the folks that will be benefiting from, again, the official Crazy 8's Race to Raise charity. So tell me how this works. This is a fantastic concept, and kind of give us, and also I didn't flip the page, Sullivan Central Cougar Band's also in there as well. Tell us how this Race to Raise is going to work, would you please?
Yeah, we're going to. So we've put the word out to all these groups, and we've set up like a drop-down box on the entry screen, so that when people register, they can choose one of these nonprofit organizations to run or walk in their behalf. If you're like an animal lover, you might want to say, well, I'd like to support the Sullivan County Humane Society, and you select that when you register. And so then the way we decide how much these organizations receive is the charity that kind of finishes first. It is kind of like a little race. With the most entrants, will receive $2,500 from Crazy 8's, and then the second one will be $1,500, the third $1,000, the fourth $500, and then the remaining ones will receive $250 each. So all of them will receive something. But if you really go out there and really promote this and get people to sign up on your behalf, you can raise as much as $2,500 for your organization.
Wow. So the Crazy 8's Race to Race charities promoting and recruiting people to sign up for either the Crazy 8's 8K run, 3K moonwalk, or the Little 8 Youth run on their behalf. And so do we go to the website? How do we vote, or how does that work?
Well, you just register.
Okay.
You can go to the website and you just register as you normally would. And during the registration process, there is a question that comes up. about the race-to-race charities, and you can select the one you want to run or walk for. So it's real simple. You don't have to do anything other than what you normally do when you register for the race. But we would hope that these organizations will really get out and bring people to our event. That's obviously why we want to give back, but we also want them to bring their people and their supporters to the race, and so it's kind of a win-win.
It is a win-win. Every year the Crazy Eights is special, but this year it's even extra special. It's the 25th anniversary of this event, which I think is fantastic, and love being a part of this. And you've got some other things up your sleeve to kind of help commemorate the 25th anniversary, do you not?
Yeah, we do. It is the 25th anniversary, and we're going to kind of treat it. Natalie and I are. We don't do things the normal way, but we're going to try to treat it like a big birthday party. Like it's our 25th birthday party. So everything is kind of, the theme is around a birthday cake and candles and things like that. We're going to have hopefully have big cake or cupcakes out there for everybody when they finish, and so it's going to be just a fun event. We really want to make it a big deal, and we're going to kind of go back in time to 1990 when it all started, and play music from that year and things like that. We're also, you may have noticed that we've changed the walk. It's now called the 3K Moonwalk, and we're going to it's going to be kind of a Michael Jackson themed event, and we'll play Michael Jackson music and let people dress up like Michael Jackson, and maybe even have a few people moonwalk into the finish line, something like that. We're going to have fun with it.
Absolutely. You're supposed to have fun because life's too short not to have fun. Before I let you go, to get registered for the Crazy Eights, where do we need to go?
Well, you can go to our website. That's the easiest way. It's just crazy8s.org, and it's a number 8, crazy number 8, the letter S.org, and there's links there to register. It's real easy. And I want to appreciate Indian Path Medical Center. They've been on board with us for a really long time, and they're still our main sponsor. And we're bringing on Nice-Longer Children's Hospital as a co-title sponsor this year. So not only are they supporting our event, we're going to turn right around and support them back by naming them as one of our race-to-race charities.
The old, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's a win-win for everybody. And Hank, you guys, you're right. You and Natalie, I can't wait to get over there for this birthday party happening, the 25th anniversary. It'll be here before you know it, July the 11th. And again, get on the line, as he said, and register to run in this event. Crazy8s.org. And of course, as he said, this weekend, the Caterpillar Crawl in downtown Bristol. You can find out about that from his website, WeRunEvents.com. And Hank, thanks again, my friend. Great job. Keep on, and I'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. My privilege. Again, that gentleman right there, they do a fantastic job. He and his lovely bride, Miss Natalie. And, again, the Caterpillar Crawl on Saturday and the Crazy Eights 25th anniversary of the event. Oh, wow. Somebody's going to win $2,500, either the Sullivan Central Cougar Band, the Wounded Warrior Program, the Appalachian Senior Center, the March of Dimes, Meals and Wheels of Kingsport, the Wilmot Foundation Heart Fund, Nice-Longer Children's Hospital, the Sullivan County Humane Society, or the American Cancer Society. One of those is going to win the top prize of $2,500. It's the charity with the most entrants for the Crazy Eights. And again, go to crazy8s.org to find out more about that. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Thursday. We thank you for being with us. We're going to take a break here and let the folks talk to us about Mike's Medicine Mart. Stop by their day, Mother's Day, right around the corner. They got the Willow Tree Angel figurines. And let's see, I wrote that down, and I want to tell you about those. I dropped the papers on the floor, but then I picked them back up. And, don't forget also tonight, while I'm looking for that, street fights tonight at Bristol Dragway. Again, starts at 5 o'clock, and the racing starts at 6. And, again, it's $10 to race, $5 to watch. Looks like the weather's going to be perfect tonight to get out there to the Thunder Valley and watch the street fights. Starts tonight, 5 o'clock, gates open, and racing starts at 6. All right, I was going to tell you about the Willow Tree Angel figurines. These are the ones I wrote down. I was over there. Promise, You and Me, Generations, Healing Grace, Thank You, Sweetheart, and Angel of Hope. That's just, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 25 Willow Tree Willow Tree Angel figurines for Mother's Day. They've also got, as we told you, they have the Nature's Way product line on sale, 20% off the month of May, so you can save there for Mom for Mother's Day. They have graduation frames, anniversary frames, wedding photo books, wedding frames, all that, again, right there in the center aisle as you walk into Max Medicine Mart. Also for Mom, they got the Franklin sunglasses, got some really good-looking sunglasses for guys and for ladies, and for some older ladies as well that aren't quite as hip as us young folks would be.
You've never been hip, big guy.
Yeah.
You're Sasquatch.
Thank you.
You're hip to Sasquatches. There you go.
The hip to Sasquatch. There you go. Give me some Sasquatch glasses. All right. They've also got the now here's something, and I noticed they had about 12, but they're down to 2. It's called Sting Kill. It contains benzocaine. Now, if you are susceptible to having bee stings, or when you get a bee sting, you're allergic or you swell up or whatever, these are disposable swabs for bee stings, insect bites, and if you go to the beach, also works on jellyfish. They're called Sting Kill. So if you're getting ready to head to the beach on vacation or just out in the yard or wherever, and you get stung by a bee or an insect bite or jellyfish, it's called Sting Kill. Contains benzocaine, and that's something they've got. And as I said, they had about 10 there, and they're down to 2. So they've been selling those. And also calamine lotion. You ever had poison ivy?
A long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, poison ivy, poison oak.
Been a while.
Yeah. They've got that calamine lotion. They got the Ivy Dry soap that instantly removes poison ivy, poison oak, and poison sumac. Then if you're getting ready to go to the beach, and we said it's going to be the 80s and 90s here next week, and it's warm out there today, they've got Banana Boat, Hawaiian Tropic, and Copper Tone skincare products. All this at Max Medicine Mart. Lots of gift-giving ideas for Mom for Mother's Day. Make tracks to Max, and you do. Quick break. We'll be right back. We've got more to talk about. Jimmy Johnson, did he or did he not on the race last Sunday at Talladega? We'll find out right after you hear this on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 39 years, 4 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics has been recognized as the area's leading orthotics and prosthetics provider, specializing in providing high-quality prosthetics and equipment for patients who want to regain their independence, their mobility, and their confidence. They take pride in their commitment to you as a patient and look forward to serving you in the years to come. Family-owned for 39 years, 4 locations, 1 family. In Kingsport on Broad Street, in Bristol, Tennessee on Highway 126, in Greenville, Tennessee on Justice Drive, and in Pounding Mill, Virginia on Short Street. 39 years, 4 locations, 1 family. And beginning June 1st, Kingsport Brace and Limb and Greenville Orthotics and Prosthetics will continue to serve you as Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics. A new name, the same family. 1-800-524-4447, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics.
You want to honor your mom this Mother's Day? At Max Medicine Mart, they have everything you'll need to say thanks to that special lady. Create a special gift basket full of quality Burt's Bees products: moisturizing cream, facial scrub, lip balm, beeswax hand cream, just to mention a few, or pamper mom with a foot massager to re-energize her tired and sore feet, or a pair of stylish Franklin brand sunglasses, or maybe a specialty tea for mom with over 40 shelves of teas to choose from. Lots of choices for mom for Mother's Day at Max Medicine Mart, Center Street, Kingsport, open 7 days a week. This Mother's Day, make tracks to Max.
Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Thursday. Thank you for being with us on this National Day of Prayer on May the 7th, 2015. Well, did he or did he not? Now, you watched the tail end of the race. I'm going to get your take on this, but let me read this first. Fans of Dale Earnhardt Jr. have spent the last 4 years believing that Jimmy Johnson owed his teammate a favor for pushing Johnson to the win at Talladega back in 2011. Some felt the payback finally came Sunday when Johnson was accused of letting Earnhardt Jr. win Talladega. The notion grew out of the final 20-plus laps of the race, run mostly as a single-file parade, with Earnhardt leading and Johnson falling in second. Johnson never pulled out of line to attempt to pass his Hendrick Motorsports teammate. Earnhardt collected his 6th career win at the Alabama Superspeedway. You watched it. Do you think that Jimmy Johnson laid back and let Junior win it?
Yes.
Whoo! All right, we got controversy. All right, why would you say that?
Well, I mean, like I said, it was a very boring race the last 25, 30 laps. Everybody was going single file. Nobody was trying to go out and pass. Tony Stewart, my man Smoke, tried to do it. Nobody went with him. It was like they were all content to be where they were. But, of course, there were a few in the third and fourth place positions now. They were wanting to win. Ryan Blaney was one of them, okay? When he came out, Jimmy Johnson just kind of slid over a little bit and blocked him. Then came back in line behind Earnhardt. By that time, there was nobody to help Blaney get up there. And I'm sorry, it just you can't wait till the last lap, number one. But Johnson made no effort whatsoever, none. And the only time he moved was during that last lap. You can argue that he was trying to pass Earnhardt. No, he didn't gain on him. So I think he was blocking.
Jimmy Johnson says, quote, "It's the most ridiculous thing ever. You owed us," he said, noting most of the conversation about his alleged deliberate attempt to allow Earnhardt to win was on social media where fans told him, "You owed us. Thanks for letting Junior win." Johnson says, "I'm like, for one, I don't owe you anything. Number two, you're taking away what your driver did. He won the race. You're acting like I just let him win the race."
Well, he's got to save face.
Yeah.
I mean, period. I mean, he has nothing to gain by just a few extra dollars for winning the race. I mean, points wise, it wasn't going to greatly affect him. He's already in the chase. No. This was a perfect opportunity to let another Hendricks driver get in the chase and make the team stronger, and he did it.
Johnson remained adamant that he was determined to win the race for himself. He had planned to make his move exiting the final turn, but he needed either help from the cars behind him or a second lane on the bottom of the track to push him, and neither scenario ever developed. "I gave it my all, but it just wasn't in the cards," what Johnson said.
He's saying what he has to say, but you're not going to convince me otherwise.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, fans said, "Hey, Jimmy, thanks for letting us win. You owed us one." And, of course, he took exception to it, but again, you're saying
that's another thing. Why would you take exception to that?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, so it promotes you being a team player. All right? I mean, you're just getting kudos by keeping your mouth shut, not saying anything, okay, and letting people think what they want. But to come out and deny it? Yeah. I don't know. He's got an ego too.
Jimmy?
Yeah.
You put him on there?
No.
Okay, you don't want him on there?
He's not on there yet.
Not on the bad list? Okay.
I like Lowe's.
Yes, you do. I heard about that. Earnhardt says, "I don't think we owe each other anything other than to treat each other like men and professionals. I don't know how many times I've actually pushed him to a win. My fans maybe feel like it's 3 or 4 times, but I think it's really only once. They are very critical of Jimmy. He takes it in stride. He does really well with the criticism. I think I'm fortunate to be his teammate because I've certainly become a better driver being around him, learning from him. He has certainly helped me improve my career," so says Dale Earnhardt Jr. So, by the way, the name of the race this weekend, the SpongeBob SquarePants 400.
Can't be a better name.
Kansas Speedway.
Who's going to have the SpongeBob logo on their car?
I don't know. I'm sure somebody will. Defending champ of the race, of course, is Kyle Busch. My boy Kyle. No, I'm sorry, it's a truck race. Let's see. Last year, Jeff Gordon won the Cup race, and the trucks run again this weekend. The Xfinity Series is off in Kansas, so this weekend's the trucks, the Toyota Tundra 250, and Kyle Busch raced to the second of his 7 2014 victories. No more word, although I keep hearing he's getting better by the day, which you would expect, but how much better can he get quickly enough to get into the car remains to be seen. But so I think Gibbs is planning on being back this year, and I still say the August Bristol race he'll be back, and folks that know he'll be back before them. But
I'm still saying Pepsi 400, Firecracker 400
in Daytona.
In Daytona.
That would be wild, wouldn't it? That's where he got hurt. So
that's I'm telling you, that's got it written in the cards. I mean,
Yeah.
what more of a dramatic comeback can you get?
Well, that's true.
So
come back where you got hurt to begin with.
yeah, so I think it's going to happen.
All right. Baseball update. What else going on in Major League Baseball? What's the very latest?
Okay, in the Major League Baseball, on the scoreboard, we got top of the fourth, Oakland leads Minnesota 4-3. Top of the third, Los Angeles Dodgers are tied up with Milwaukee. And let's see here, middle of the first inning, Detroit and Chicago. Detroit leads that 1-0. Top of the third, St. Louis over the Cubs 2-0. And you got a delay. I mean, it must be a rain delay in Kansas City, Cleveland, Kansas City. So that's it.
Wow. That's what's going on. Of course, the Reds play tonight in Pittsburgh against the Buccos. Now, I'm sure when our next guest gets on in a few minutes, Bears will be a big topic. Second one in 3 days spotted in Johnson City. First one was outside the Wellness Center on State of Franklin about noon.
Maybe the same bear.
Could be. But they've seen two bear sightings in the last 3 days in Johnson City. The other one was near Oak Park Cemetery down around Founders Park in downtown Johnson City. Took a stroll, climbed a tree, startled some shoppers before going away. And so they're out just looking for food, and I'm sure David Crum will address that coming up here in a few minutes on his segment from the TWRA. Mentioned street fights coming up tonight. Again, it starts at 5 o'clock, gates open at Bristol Dragway. The racing begins at 10. Have you ever been up to street fights? You ever been there?
Never been there.
Yeah, I think it may be something good to take in here in the not-too-distant future. Check it out and see how things go with the old street fights. It's tonight, again, at Bristol Dragway. Gates open at 5. Racing starts at 6. $10 to race and $5 just to sit and watch. Get you a bucket of chicken, go up here and sit down, and some sweet tea, and watch some folks take their personal vehicles out on the not the high banks, but on the straightaways of Bristol Dragway. So that'd be pretty cool. So I would do that. I would get in the vehicle and let you drive. I have that much confidence in you.
Let me drive.
Yeah, I'd let you go. I'd think, okay, horse.
Your car wouldn't know what to do.
Yours?
No, yours.
I'm not talking about my car. I'm just talking about any vehicle.
Oh, okay.
I have the confidence to let you put us. I mean, even the mistress, put her up there.
I've had some driving lessons, so yeah.
Yes, I bet you have some driving lessons. Yes, you probably have.
Some of them have been aggressive too.
I would think so. Yeah, I would. I'd like to see you take the mistress up there. I think that would turn some heads. Whoomba. Crack that mic, or that mic, crack that throttle, and go on down the. I guess you can do motorcycles. I suppose you can. So, pretty cool event. Again, it's called Street Fights. It's today. Again, gates open at 5 o'clock in a little over a couple of hours, and then again they start racing at 6. $10 to race and $5 just to go up there and sit and watch folks have a good time with their own personal vehicles in Thunder Valley. Also, before we go to the break, the All-Star race, running out of time. You have until the 16th, which is next Saturday, to vote. The Sprint Fan Votes History. Last 10 seasons, fans have voted 10 different drivers into the NASCAR Sprint All-Star race at Charlotte, including names like Danica Patrick, Casey Kane, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. You never know who's going to win, and so polls are open for the 2015 Sprint Fan Vote, and unpredictably will take center stage until the NASCAR Sprint All-Star race on Saturday, May the 16th. You have until next Friday night. Voting closes at 7 o'clock on Friday, May 15th, one day before the green flag. And so for the first time in program history, votes shared via Facebook and or Twitter will count as double towards the driver's total. Fans can vote daily with a maximum of one vote per day per unique email address by downloading the NASCAR mobile application or visiting NASCAR.com. They'll send you the rest of the way to find out where you need to go and what you need to do on the internet. But again, it's NASCAR.com, again, /Sprint Fan Vote. And that's good until next Friday night. And then they'll announce who's going to be there for the All-Star race coming up next weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Quick break. We'll come right back. Scheduled to be joined by our buddy David Crum, the officer for the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. He is scheduled to join us coming up next year on this Thursday for the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that home insurance can keep your stuff covered even when it's not at home? Or that collisions with wildlife on the road may not be covered? And what if you didn't know you could be liable for any accidents on your property? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on this National Day of Prayer 2015. Of course, we opened up the show by praying on air, which we normally don't do. But today we felt it was the need to do, and we don't apologize for that. So National Day of Prayer today, 2015. Let's go to the phone. He's there, our buddy David Crum, our officer of the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, Tom. And you know the thing about National Day of Prayer is every day is a day of prayer.
Should be. You're exactly right. And so today is a day that we all should be doing it anyway, every day. And so, yes, today is the National Day of Prayer, and your point, well taken. Bears all over Johnson City. What's going on with that?
Well, I tell you, Tom, with some individuals putting out there that they wanted pictures of the bear and wanted people to help keep track of the bear over the last couple of days. We've had a bear move through ETSU campus, move through the tree streets, moved over into MedTech Parkway around the walking track and the post office around Franklin Woods Hospital, that area, and also the walking trail. Some folks have actually been going out trying to find this bear, and I guess the mindset is that they think it's a domestic animal, like a little fluffy dog that they can go up and pet. We actually had one individual, a lady, walked up carrying an infant in one of those, kind of like a car seat, and went out the walking trail, looked up at the officer, and had her phone out and said, "Where can I go take a picture of this bear?"
Wow.
And that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. We now have, with the cooperation of the Johnson City Police Department and our agency, we have put out signs on the walking track around MedTech Parkway. We contacted some of the media and asked them to put it out. Please do not go out the walking track around MedTech area because we're trying to trap the bear. The bear is a young bear. It's a small juvenile. It's obvious to tell by the pictures that have been sent in and shown. It's just a young bear that's probably been kicked out of its home territory to make room for new bears coming that are being born and are out in the mountains. And this bear is all running around looking for food. We've had no documentation or reports of aggression, none whatsoever, nor have we had any damage reported by this bear. It's just a young bear roaming around. Normally what they'll do is they'll move through the city and they'll go on and move on back into the mountains and go back up to their more familiar surroundings. But this bear, for some reason, has decided to hang out in the particular area, the big wooded lot there around the post office and Franklin Woods. Once again, if you're over in that area, try to avoid the walkway. If you encounter a bear at any point in time, do not turn and run. Back away slowly. Remember, it is a wild animal. If you turn and run, it's like throwing a ball for a dog. It's just kind of a trigger mechanism. So just back away slowly. Do not make eye contact. That way it's non-threatening. And just give the bear plenty of room because they are more afraid of us than we are of them.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of the walkway, we're talking to David Crum, the TWRA. If you're on a bicycle, I mean, would a bear chase a bike like a dog would, or does that scare him? And that, I mean, how's a bear typically react to someone that's either running by them or, as I said, on a bicycle or something that's moving at a pretty good clip? Does that get him revved up, or does that scare him off?
You know, Tom, I don't know that I would want to test that theory.
No.
One way or the other, to be honest. I don't know how they react to a bicycle. I know you've seen reports, of course, granted it was a different style of bear. It was a grizzly bear, and grizzly bears are much more aggressive than the black bears we have here in East Tennessee. But if the bear gets startled, just like any animal, if you're backed into a corner, you've got three options: fight, flight, or freeze. So the bear is more than likely the bear is not going to freeze up. So that eliminates one of the three. And either one of the other two options, of fight or flight, could create problems. So I don't know that I'd want to test that out, period.
We're talking to David Crum, the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency officer. What is the absolute worst thing we can do as humans? Leave food out? I know we talked last year about bird feeders. They get up in bird feeders. So what do we not need to do to attract a bear?
Well, if you can remove the food source, if you've got dogs and cats that are outside, feed them in the morning. Feed them, go ahead and put their food out early in the morning. Let them feed, leave the food out as long as they'll eat, and then take it back up. The animal, the dog, or the cat will get used to having the food out for X amount of time, and they'll eat it all, and they'll eat well. And then take it back in. Don't put stuff out in the evening. If you have bird feeders out, take them in during the nighttime. Bears like to move around, use a cover of darkness. They have an amazing sense of smell. They can smell food up to half a mile away. Moving that food source, trying to eliminate what's drawing the bear in to begin with, such as bird feeders, dog food, cat food, and also garbage cans. Take them into an outbuilding or put them in a garage, something along those lines, and periodically clean out your garbage can with some Clorox. Just something, as Mama used to say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It is a wild animal, and it is looking for food.
We were talking about Johnson City. I can only assume there's other parts of our region that you're getting calls for bears besides Johnson City. Is that a fair statement?
It is a fair statement. The thing is, this one has received more publicity right now. We still have bears moving around the area. We still have bears normally coming in the outskirts, on the edge. We have folks that live on the side of Buffalo Mountain. And we have folks that we all live in bear territory in East Tennessee. Somewhere there is a bear close to a house. About anywhere you go in East Tennessee as far as in the more remote areas. We have quite a few bear around. We live in their backyard where they're normally used to living. So keep that in mind.
Also keep in mind, again, we're talking to David Crum, our Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency officer, doing a great job. Also keep in mind, heat is kicking in, so is the humidity. As you were telling me off air, the no-brainer rule, drink plenty of liquids both on the water and off the water, and obviously not of alcoholic nature, but drink a lot of water and stay hydrated. Tell me about it.
Drink a lot of water and even throw in some sports drinks from time to time. Avoid drinks that have caffeine or alcohol in them because caffeine and alcohol are also dehydrators. It will dehydrate your body. You need to stay well hydrated with temperatures jumping up into the 80s in the afternoon, especially if you're going out on the water doing some fishing or some recreational skiing or recreational boating of any kind. You're out there on the water, you've got the extra stressors on you, and the sun's reflecting off of the water. It's really hot out there. So be sure you drink plenty of good liquids. Water and sports drinks are really good to drink. Avoid the sodas that have caffeine in them. Avoid sodas at all possible, because all that sugar and caffeine does just make you feel kind of nasty anyway. And avoid the alcohol because of the dehydrating situation.
There you go. Last but not least, we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, and we're talking to David Crum, the TWRA. It's the spring turkey hunt season. Tell me about that again, would you please?
Spring turkey season is still going on until May 17th. Season's still going on, even though it's heated up quite a bit. Some of the hunters have backed off as far as putting pressure on the birds. It's been a really unique year this year. Some hunters have complained that the birds haven't been as vocal as normal. They haven't been gobbling as normal, but had a really good hatch. And you've got a good flock of turkeys, strong flock of turkeys around the area. But again, the turkey hunting season is still going on till May 17th. We actually had an individual in one of the local counties call one of our officers, called to say that he thought there was a sick or injured turkey out in a field. And when the officer got talking to him, what it turned out to be was just a normal tom turkey puffed up and strutting, you know, where they fan their tail fan out and they puff up and ruffle their feathers up and spread out their wings and everything, drag them on the ground, and he was strutting. And that's all the turkey was doing. But the individual thought the turkey was sick or injured and said it was just acting funny. But it was actually normal, perfectly normal. So that the breeding season is still going on. Turkey season ends May 17th.
Great report as always, my friend. Again, the Bears drink plenty of liquids, and, of course, the spring turkey season. Give us that famous hook, would you please?
Remember, folks, get your kids hooked on hunting and fishing, and you don't have to worry as much about them getting hooked on other things. And safe boating saves lives.
Great report, my friend. How did your Steelers do in the NFL draft? Did you like how they ended up and who they got and all that?
Well, I think they made a couple of really good choices with the, I believe they picked the cornerback and the wide receiver, especially since they got kind of sucker punched on the tight end choice. Of course, you wouldn't expect anything less on that. But Heath Miller, one of the better tight ends ever to play the game. He's not one of the best, but he's one of the better tight ends. He will need to be replaced at some point in time. And I think the Steelers are really going to come along with their choices on their replacements. Give these young fellas, these college age, now that I'm getting older in age, I guess I can start calling them kids now. They're very talented kids. And give them some seasoning, and I think they'll do really well.
There you go. Hey, great report, my friend. I thank you, as always, for giving us some great information every Thursday. Have a great weekend. Stay cool. And, hey, we'll talk to you next week, all right?
Thank you very much, Tom. You take care. And happy early Mother's Day to all the mothers, because if it wasn't for the mothers, we wouldn't be here.
Amen, brother. Preach it. You're exactly right. Our buddy David Crum, the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency officer, great job as always, and we appreciate him very, very much. And he's right. If it wasn't without the mamas, we all be in trouble. We wouldn't even be here. So he's exactly right, and we appreciate him very, very much. What else going on in sports? Any stories? How about a baseball scoreboard update? Or what we got? What's the very latest?
Okay, let's see here. We're tied up now. Oakland and Minnesota in the top of the fifth, 4-4. After 3 innings, Los Angeles 3-1 over Milwaukee. Bottom of the second now. That's a slow-moving game. Detroit and Chicago White Sox, 1-0 Detroit. St. Louis still holds a 2-run lead over Chicago in the top of the fourth, and they're still in a delay in Kansas City. Cleveland at Kansas City there. So
got some rain in Kansas City. Our man Dino was on the mound last night for Buffalo in the AAA and had some hard luck last night. He went 5 2/3 innings, did Daniel Norris out of Johnson City, allowing 1 run on 4 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 4 in 5 2/3. The 1 run was all that the Durham Bulls needed for the victory, 1-0 over the Buffalo Bisons, AAA affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays. And so Daniel Norris, again, sent down to work on his control. Hard luck loser last night, his debut with Buffalo, went 5 2/3, again allowing 1 run on 4 hits, walked 3, and struck out 4. I don't see where that's all that bad, but it says here that didn't do well as a hard luck loser. But, again, that's not too bad. 5 2/3, 1 run on 4 hits over 5 2/3. That's 5 threes are 15. 2 more guys, 17 they faced minimum. 17 batters. He gave up 4 hits, walked 3, and struck out 4. So, anyway, he loses, and they got beat 1-0, and Norris took the loss, obviously. So, trying to get back up to the bigs. And right now, as we said, AAA affiliate, the Buffalo Bisons with the Toronto Blue Jays. Crockett's basketball shooting guard Casey Gordon is signed with Milligan College women's basketball team. Again, Gordon helped Crockett make the regional tournament for the first time in 18 years. Gordon averaged 10.3 points per game with a two average per game average would be, again, Casey Gordon, and she made 74 three-pointers this year during her senior season. So, again, Casey Gordon going from Crockett to play for the Lady Buffaloes of Milligan College. 74 threes, that's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Bunch of attempts, too. So, are you good at shooting threes?
Nah.
No.
I'm not good at shooting anything.
You don't play basketball?
Well, I can shoot a gun, but I can't. I'm pretty good at that. But no.
No. Hoops ain't you?
Hoops ain't me.
No. Softball's you?
Softball's me.
Baseball? Football? No.
Well, football, if I'd had the opportunity, I went to work as a teenager. I started out on a swim team. Then we got transferred around on the high schools, and I never could get settled in anywhere. So my senior year, I went out for football there at William Blount. Probably had a real good shot at making a wideout position, maybe even starting. But right before the season started during a late summer practice, I broke my wrist or broke my thumb catching a football. Fell down. Well, I didn't fall down. It was muddy, real muddy, and I slipped. And I put my hand down to brace my fall, and my body kept going, and my thumb didn't.
Chink. Yep.
So I broke my hand, and it was going to put me out like 6 to 8 weeks, and it would have been middle of the season at the earliest I could come back. So I just told the coach, I said, I want a car.
Worse than I want to play.
I want to play after that breaking my hand. So I went out and got a job.
There you go.
And there went my football career. So.
Down the tubes.
Yeah. But so anyways.
Were you pretty quick to be a wide receiver or a tight end?
When I was in high school, I was 5'11", 145 pounds.
Greased lightning.
You got it.
Yeah.
I could move around.
He can move it up and down.
Those days are long gone.
I understand. Believe me, I understand. Yep. Them's long gone. All right, let's see. Oh, here's what I'm looking for. All right, before we go to the break, I'll take one more break. National Hockey League. Tampa Bay last night skates past Montreal 2-1. Tampa Bay leads that series 3-0. They'll try and close it out. They'll play again tonight, as a matter of fact. And Washington skates past the Rangers 2-1. Washington leads that series 3-1. Tonight, Montreal, Tampa Bay, and you have the Blackhawks in Minnesota to take on the Wild. Chicago trying to finish that one out. They lead at 3-0. In the NBA last night, NBA compliments of the, let's see, which one we got? Got the Johnson City or the Kingsport Times News. You have Cleveland over Chicago 106-91. That series now tied the best of 7 at a game apiece. And the Houston Rockets make it a 1-1 series as they beat the L.A. Clippers in Houston last night. And so the Rockets get a W and the Cavs get a W. Nobody's playing tonight. Friday night, you have Cleveland at Chicago, and Houston, the Rockets will be in L.A. to battle the Clippers. And so that's what's happening there in the National Hockey League and the NBA. Again, baseball from yesterday, let's recap them. Cincinnati, again, shutting out Pittsburgh 3-0. Other winners, Atlanta beat Philadelphia 7-5. Washington over Miami. Arizona and Colorado. Arizona takes 2 from the Rockies. San Diego beats San Francisco. Mets over Baltimore. Milwaukee beats the Dodgers, and the Cubbies stop the red-hot St. Louis Cardinals. In the American League, you have Toronto over the Yankees. Mets beat Baltimore. Tampa Bay defeats Boston. Cleveland over Kansas City. Chicago over Detroit. Minnesota shuts out Oakland 13-0. And Texas beat Houston, and the Angels beat Seattle last night in the American League. Again, scheduled today in the National League tonight under the lights, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh, San Diego at Arizona, Miami at San Francisco. Games in progress, and we're tracking them for you. You've got the Dodgers in Milwaukee and the Cubbies in St. Louis at Busch Stadium to battle the Cardinals. In the American League, a couple of actually 3-day games. Oakland at Minnesota. We've been giving you updates. Cleveland at Kansas City, which got started about 30 minutes ago.
It's rain delay.
And Detroit at Chicago also got started about 30 minutes ago. Then tonight under the lights, Baltimore against the Yankees in New York. Texas at Tampa Bay. And the Angels continue their series at home against the Houston Astros. Quick break. We'll be right back and begin to wrap up this show. It's blown through again, man. This thing flies by every day. And we'll come back with more sports right after you hear this on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of their patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from a patient mold insert, which further ensures a great recovery or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 4 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics at 1-800-524-4447. Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. I asked owner Richard Isaacs, is there a template or is the sky the limit?
Pretty much the sky's the limit. We have a very good drawing system that you come in, tell me what you want. If you have a set of house plans that you're working with, you're building a new house, we can take it off the house plans, we can draw it up, do you 3D drawings where you can see exactly where all the doors, the drawers, the color of the cabinets, kind of get close to the color of the countertops in your drawings. Go over that with you, then you can say, well, Richard, let's change this. I'd rather for that door to open the other way, or I want that cabinet to be bigger, that cabinet to be smaller. We can customize it to your needs. You know, it's all about what the customer wants. We want them to be happy when they leave here.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134. Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us on this Thursday. Don't forget, coming up on Sunday, the Run for Your Mom 5K in Johnson City. Go to the website, runforyourmom.com, which would be really cool if you're a runner to do that at some point on Saturday. I believe it's at 9 o'clock. Run for Your Mom 5K. Again, in Johnson City, going to be running through the legendary Gump Edition subdivision. A lot of older homes back off the road and beautifully, beautifully landscaped. So that's coming up on Saturday. Run for Your Mom 5K. And, again, for more information, go to their website at runforyourmom.com. So that's what's going on there with the old 5K coming up on Saturday morning, Mother's Day weekend. So, again, we thank you for being with us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Let's see. What else going on? Tom Brady's offseason might extend until 2016 if the NFL decides to drop the proverbial hammer on the Patriots quarterback. At least one report is indicating that the league might actually suspend Brady for the entire 2015 season. Does he have any recourse? Can he sue?
Oh, he'll appeal it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, suing, I don't know if he could sue or not. Because, I mean, there was an investigation done, and he can appeal NFL's decision and challenge the investigation maybe. But is there a lawsuit? I don't know if he's got enough to do that.
Report found that McNally, the gentleman who doctored the balls, let the air out of him in the locker room. The officials' locker room attendant for the Patriots and John Dresminski, an equipment manager of the Patriots, participated in a deliberate effort to release air from Patriots game balls after the balls were examined by the referee. In the report, Wells noted that Brady refused to turn over his cell phone and other personal information for investigative purposes.
There you go.
There you go. Nope, you're not getting my phone. Well, if you're innocent, nope, you're not getting my phone. So call me what you want. You're not getting my phone.
And the only reason Belichick isn't being put under this microscope as well, they don't have the evidence against him. Yeah, he knew, there's no way he did not know what was going on. When your star quarterback is involved with something like this, and they've talked it over, you can't tell me they haven't talked it over. I'm sorry. So he knew they just didn't have anything to pin him to it. So
Brady's refusal to help the investigation could end up being one of the biggest reasons he's hit with a potentially big suspension.
Yeah.
Didn't want to play.
I mean, if I know you're innocent until proven guilty. That's the way our criminal justice system works, anyways. But if you know you didn't do it and there's an investigation going on, wouldn't you want to put your best foot forward instead of just saying, "Yeah, come get me if you can"?
Just win, baby. If I'm out there to play, I'm out to get that W every single time. Now, let's see. Brady's decision to not fully cooperate in the investigation was duly noted in the Wells report. Quote, Brady's refusal to provide us with his own emails, text messages, and phone records on relevant topics in response to our narrowly tailored request limit the evidence available for our review and analysis, so says the report. So,
if this was a criminal matter, they could have subpoenaed the records from the individual cell phone provider and got those text messages. But this is not a criminal matter. This is an independent NFL investigation. So, they haven't got any recourse. They have to voluntarily ask for someone to turn it over. If they don't, well, they don't get it.
If Belichick is getting some text coming in here, thank you. If Brady gets suspended, then Belichick should be suspended.
You got it.
A year would be deserving for the cheater, but I doubt they. Let's see, how can I get it to go? How do I click and make it go further? Why I want to click on there? Do we know why?
I don't know. What are you talking about? Your home phone? No,
I'm up here on the screen, but it starts with the sentence and
scroll down. Just keep scrolling down.
Well, no, I'm not saying. It says if Brady gets suspended, then Belichick should be suspended. A year would be deserving for the cheater, but I doubt they. And there's a G. There's the rest of the word, and I can't get the thing to finish it out. Quarterbacks are the marketing leads for every NFL football team. I don't think so. So I guess they're responding to. This is kind of a new little concept here. So no proof, no punishment. At least that's how our country is. No proof, no punishment. At least that's how our country is. So.
Well, and you know something? That may be, but there's morals and there's ethics. And if you can't put your finger on something, but you know it happened, and you just look at the other way, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again, and it's going to happen again. Things will get worse and not get better.
Here's a text says, witch hunt and absolutely way off base, guilty of nothing.
That's a New England fan right there.
I can't get the thing. Okay, let's do this. Let's see if this will do it. Here we go. All right, it popped up here all of a sudden. Thank you for the – okay, let's see. No proof, no punishment. That's how our country is run. Let's see. What's this one say? Roethlisberger was suspended for a crime he was never even charged with. The NFL has their own rules. Oh, okay. If Brady gets suspended, then Belichick should be suspended as well. Precedent has been set. Okay. A year would be deserving for the cheater, but I doubt they give him more than a 4-game slap on the wrist. Here's one that says, witch hunt and absolutely way off base, guilty of nothing, should be no punishment at all. How about that? This is interesting.
Well, these people are diehard New England fans, but you cannot how you could see this and turn a blind eye to it and not know that it happened. Oh, sure. Do they have clear-cut, proven evidence? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, but it happened, and everybody knows it happened.
Yeah. Well, witch hunt, absolutely way off base, guilty of nothing, should be no punishment at all. Here's one that says, anyone wants to bet the NFL source works for the Dolphins. They'd love to see Brady gone for a year, not happening. This gentleman says this whole thing is idiotic. They have no actual proof. Okay. Here's one that says Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback in the history of the National Football League, which it may or may not be true, but
I'm not denying he's not a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He's an excellent quarterback, and he's proven that with the Super Bowl rings that he has. Okay, and that's one of the reasons this is such a big story, is because here you got a guy that's supposed to be untouchable, and he's flirted with the rules, and
This last text said there's no way on earth Brady will be suspended for the year. So there you go.
Yeah, because it's all about the money, man. They'll lose money big time if he's not on the field.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so, anyway, that's some of the text coming in, and that's kind of how it goes in the old world of sports. And so we're about out of time here. In fact, we are out of time. And we want to say thanks to the folks who make this thing go. Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance, Bracken Asphalt Maintenance. Still an 8 up there. Didn't move. Center Street Wealth Management Group, our Wells Fargo
You
friends.
had more chances at it than I did.
Oh, he always has an answer. That's good. He always has an answer. Bays Mountain Park, Max Medicine Mart, Cherokee Barbershop, Bristol Dragway, American Import and Auto Repair, Kingsport Cabinetry, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance, Book Lovers Warehouse, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, and by Kingsport Cabinetry. We'll do it all over again tomorrow. Again, thanks to our guest, Ryan Edwards of Science Hill Baseball, Doug Fritz of the John City Press, again, Jerry Higgins of Science Hill Lady Hilltopper Softball, Hank Brown from WeRunEvents.com, and also David Crum from the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency. So there you go. Tom, don't do the crime unless you can do the time. That's interesting. Tom, don't do the crime unless you can do the time. All right, so there you go.
Yep.
We'll pick back up on this tomorrow. We're out of time. Would sincerely thank you for yours. Let it rip here, Horseman. We're gone. And we'll do this thing again tomorrow. Thank you again for being with us. 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, or also watch us tonight on the podcast, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and YouTube. Those are 4 places you can watch this thing being the show tonight. We're out of here. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. So long, everybody, on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.